Welcome to the Fight Night Daily Podcast. We're in cowboy country. We're here in Fort Worth, Texas right now, Dallas, Texas, the home of the Cowboys. And we are here for Mike Tyson against Jake Paul. We've had an amazing day, Spencer Oliver. I've been in the press conference with Mike, with Jake Paul, with Amanda Serrano, with Katie Taylor. You held the Fort Worth at the workouts with Raheem. It's all on the YouTube channel. What a day we've had.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, like you say, you was in there. I mean, you can talk about your experiences interviewing Mike Tyson, Katie Taylor, and the rest of the people that were in there. I was out holding the floor, watching them all work out. Mike Tyson, by the way, looked in incredible shape. The short time that we saw him in the ring, his timing looked great. His sharpness was on point, and he looked like he was really, really up for this. And equally, as well, Jake Paul. This kid has got a huge ego, He does not want to lose. So, look, we've got a real fight on Friday night, that is for sure. But yeah, tonight was extraordinary. So in so many ways, you talk to me about your experience, what went on with you in that press conference, because I mean, it's quite incredible.
It's weird that people are calling it a circus. People are going to critique the event, but up close, I spoke to Mike Tyson today about, can he get the darkness back one more time? Can he knock Jake Paul out? And that's what I asked him, and he said, that's the plan. Let's listen to what Mike told us. Mike,
How you doing, brother?
I'm good, very well. Lovely to see you.
Thank you, the same, brother.
Can I first of all thank you? Because no one's really thanked you. You've been away a long time, and you're putting yourself on the line here in many ways. I know, because you give everything. In this process, part of your identity is fighting. I know it's not all of your identity anymore, but I think as a boxing industry, as a people, we thank you first of all for coming back and putting yourself on the line, because you are putting yourself on the line, and you must have felt that during this process at some point.
Well, like I said earlier, you know, when I first agreed with the fight, I'm just talking, yeah, let's fight. And then I start going through the process of getting ready for this fight. I'm like, something.
Yeah.
And so the process is over. Now it's the fight. The fight is the party. The training is the process. The process is tough, but the party is a party.
I've said to you a few times, and you've probably found something in yourself for this fight, and you're giving it off already. That vibe is back in you. We can feel it. We can feel it right now. Are you bringing darkness on Friday night?
Well, even better than that, I'm bringing the devil himself.
Do you knock him the out?
That's what the whole process is about, the knockout.
Thank you. Can Mike, you saw things in the ring. He's got vast experience. The big thing is age, of course. That's the problem for him in this fight. Can Mike summon up in 8 2-minute rounds something special and beat the heel?
Well, this is where I'm at with it, right? So when this fight was first announced, and you go, Mike Tyson, 58 years of age, we know he hasn't lived the greatest of lives since he retired over 20 years ago. His last fight against Kevin McBride, when he got knocked out, looked a shell of his former self in that press conference, sat there, broke down and cried and said that he would never enter a boxing ring again. You know, and we saw that, and this fight was announced, and I thought, you know what, I don't want to see this. We're talking about a boxing legend, an icon. You know, he's bigger than boxing.
An icon globally, not just for boxing, but what he's gone through in his life.
And we see him getting in the ring with a guy that is former Disney Channel star who moved on to influencer, YouTuber in Jake Paul, started boxing, I don't know, back in, when was it, 8 years ago or so?
4 years.
4 years ago. Started boxing 4 years ago.
I'll come on to
White
that.
collar boxing, and we saw that, and you go, I can't see Mike Tyson losing to Jake Paul. Well, guess what? I saw him today for the first time. I saw him getting out of the car at the at the workout. Saw him get out of the car. He looked on unsteady legs, and I just thought, I'm still not sure about this. Then we get to the workout. I see him in the workout. He comes out. He takes his top off. He's in incredible shape. Now, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for his balance. I'm looking for his timing. I'm looking to see if I can see the old Mike, the one that slips inside, rolls underneath, throws those big hooks over the top. and boy, did I see it. And that excited me a lot. Now, tell me about your experience with him after the workouts.
We talked about darkness. He's got to summon it up one more time. But his opponent, Jake Paul, talked about... I asked him about, for the last 6 months, when he goes to sleep late at night and he thinks he's stepping into the ring, about Mike Tyson, how he feels. And he said, genuinely, he said, I'm actually quite scared. He said, but I want to show courage. I've been in this sport 4 years, and I want to show everyone that follows me about my courage. And I said to him at the talk, you've got courage and cojones, because for you to be able to call out Mike Tyson, as you say, an icon in the sporting world, an icon as a fighter, the self-styled baddest man on the planet, as he was 25 years ago, more. In the late 80s, he was an extraordinary figure, a different man to what he is now. He's gone from wild man to wise man. And that's what I always talk about with Mike, and he wants to summon up that wild man again. The thing for Jake is, can he believe in himself enough to beat this guy who was an icon in boxing, is still an icon for many of us. Mike's got the experience though, and he may go in there. Look, here's what I feel. I felt it from the beginning. It's 8 2-minute rounds. It is a kind of a weird coming together of two major figures. For me, Mike's got 2 rounds, 4 minutes to make a massive impact on Jake Paul.
Yeah, see, I believe he's got a little bit more than that. But do you know what I love about?
Okay.
Do you know what I love about this contest? And I want to talk a little bit about Jake Paul as well. And I say that they're both doing this for a purpose, right? Jake Paul become a huge YouTube star when he was 17, 18 years of age. You know, he grew from doing absolutely nothing, little videos in his room, growing to where he got to, and that
From fluff, from Disney fluff,
absolutely.
basically.
But that led to a life of getting into the limelight, earning loads of money, and that led to a life of, you know, drink, drugs, going down the wrong road, partying and everything else. Boxing was his saviour, and I know we use that term a lot when you're talking about certain people, but boxing was his saviour. That was his purpose. That gave him a focus and put him on the right track in life. You have to respect the kid for what he's done. He's gone in there. All right, yes, he's only ever boxed one legitimate boxer, and that was Tommy Fury, and he lost that fight. But you look at what he's done, what he's achieved, and the kids that he's influenced along the way, and you have to respect that.
Let me pick up on that, because Jake said tonight, again, I think it was to us, that this journey now is no longer about YouTube videos and kind of smashing numbers. It's genuinely about an addiction to boxing. It's truly changed his life. You've met him a few times. I've met him many times now. He is a remarkable human being, and he says there's a bigger picture for him now, that he wants to change people's lives, and he's putting himself on the line to do that.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, Jake Paul is very much misunderstood.
I agree.
That is for sure.
He's
because
happy.
But when you meet him as a human being, you meet the guy and you speak to him, he's actually a lovely kid, and he's doing it for the right reasons.
We're in a period in time now when on social media, people are accepted for putting hate out there. And what he talked about tonight was how he deals with hatred, and he wants to be the heel because it makes him learn about himself, that it makes him, he wants to show people that you can be hated, but you can win people over. And look, it's a very unusual contest. It feels like a privilege to be here. It's a meeting of generations, but beyond that, which we need to speak about now as well, is Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. Amanda Serrano is arguably the greatest living female boxer of all time.
Yeah.
I say living, but maybe the greatest of all time. 7 weight divisions, an extraordinary Puerto Rican. She's a great person. She belongs to a fighting dynasty. She's up against Katie Taylor. Let's just have a listen to Katie Taylor tonight. I asked her about her mother Bridget and how important Bridget is to her, and it produced this. I want to ask you a question about your mother Bridget, because I sat in a bar in New York and I didn't realise who was sitting next to me, and I was watching women's fights. And the lady next to me was actually your mum, and I didn't know it was your mum. How special is it to have Bridget, who's over there, of course, on the other side of the room? How special is it to have your mum Bridget with you the whole time when you fight?
Well, it's amazing. She's a biggest support. I'm getting emotional here.
Wow, Spencer. We've never seen Katie Taylor cry. And the mention of her mother Bridget, who was sitting over to her right. I've known Bridget many years. Bridget's always with her. They say a prayer together in the dressing room before she goes out to fight. What does that emotion mean to you that she's breaking down over that?
Do you know what? People don't understand how emotional fighters are, how sensitive fighters are, and you got to remember what Katie Taylor has done in her career. You know, she's been a pioneer for women's boxing. She's transformed women's boxing, women's sport in many ways. You know, to get to the heights that she's done, she's gone through it the hard way. Olympic gold medal 2012, topped off
the
her
first
amateur
woman
career.
to win a lightweight gold.
Absolutely, topped off her amateur career. Then she becomes undisputed lightweight champion, undisputed super lightweight champion. Now she's taking on Amanda Serrano again. She was
Came back from defeat.
Absolutely came back from defeat, but her and Amanda Serrano topped the bill at MSG, Madison Square Garden. The first all-female fight ever to do that. Broke all records.
Million views.
All records. Yeah. You know, and so what you've got to respect is this girl, what she's been through, the journey she's been on. She recognises now that they're coming to the end. Both of them are in many ways, but Katie Taylor has probably only got another 2 fights left in her. So for her, it's a very emotional time. And you touched on it. You touched a nerve with her there when you spoke to her in that
a beautiful emotional nerve.
Absolutely.
Here's a couple of stats, right? The biggest event ever watched in America was a playoff game for the Super Bowl. 25 million watching it live. It's anticipated. It's on Netflix, of course. This is a new thing. It's the first live sports event Netflix have ever shown. It's trending towards 22 million viewers. I think they'll break all the records.
I do as well.
And you have to, obviously it's an undisputed title. It's a massive projection. Again, this is Jake Paul. He's taken Amanda Serrano under his wing. He wants to change the face of boxing. This is going to be the biggest female watched fight of all time.
Yep. Totally agree with that, and I think that what's going to happen in this one, and we heard Amanda Serrano saying this earlier on in the week actually, they're going to take off from where they left off. Anyone that saw
Round
that first
13.
fight, if you never saw the first fight, go back and watch it on YouTube and know what you're in for on Friday night, because these girls will meet and lock horns early doors in this contest. They will meet in the centre of the ring and they will leave it all in the ring, and you know they deserve all the props for that, because as far as fights go, her and Amanda Serrano back in April 2022 was one of the best fights I've actually witnessed.
Styles make fights rather than flights, and it's a classic. Katie hinted tonight, by the way, at the press conference, Spencer, that she doesn't want it to go to the judges, which I thought was fascinating. I think it will. The 2-minute rounds go very quickly. I think it'll be very close again. But what we know is this. This is an enormous event. This is the Fight Night Daily podcast. Tomorrow, I think we're going to be at the press conference, and then we're going to be at the weigh-ins. Join this brilliant fella and myself tomorrow for more. Loads of interviews. We're going to be muscling in, elbowing out our scruffy cousins, the Americans, and I'm going to be introducing Spencer the Omen Oliver to Mike Tyson tomorrow. We will see you then.
Tune in tomorrow.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.